Oh, hey guys. It's been a crazy day, so catching up with emails and everything else. But welcome to another episode of Super Sketchy with myself and your favorite artist, Vince Sunico. What's up, Vince?
What's going on, Carl?
Man, what was it? Week 4, week 3, week 5? I don't know. I'm losing track of time, man. Time
Yeah.
and days. One thing I do know though is we are counting down to Heroes Be Damned, man. I mean, we're not
That's
far away. We're
right.
a couple weeks
Yeah,
out.
it's coming up. Pretty excited about it.
Dude, it's kind of crazy because we started the campaign and we're like, it's new, it's fresh, and we're gonna start pushing it. And folks, if you haven't checked it out yet, please do follow and click notify me on launch. We're at 178 followers. We're on track to hit that 300 plus followers, man.
Nice.
So it's pretty damn exciting. And so today I'm just booking all my flights and stuff to Heroes. We're basically kicking it off on the 28th. And then after that, I think you and I and Terry are both going to end up at Heroes Con for the weekend to close it out strong.
Nice touch.
Alicia Willis, welcome. She says, hey, Vince.
Hey, Alicia. How's she do?
I'm sure she's doing fine. Alicia, feel free to chime in today. So, folks, welcome. Every week we've been coming together with some of Vince's closest friends in the artist community. And this is super sketchy because what the heck do you guys do on this show?
Sketch. Draw.
Exactly.
Use our imagination.
They use their imagination. They use the skill sets that I personally don't have. I really want, but I'm here to help narrate and co-host. So Vince, you need no introduction. You are the creator of Heroes Be Damned. You've been working with Terry Kavanaugh for the last year. What's been going on this week, man? I know you've hit some shops and whatnot. How are you feeling so far about this whole Heroes Be Damned campaign?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but it's fun at the same time. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things, but I know I've been working on the card set, which is going to be another cool thing to add to the whole thing. So that's coming along too. And then trying to get to, I think I'll be doing another shop this weekend as well. And trying to close out some other ones too.
Yeah, tune into Vince's social media. Vincent316, was it?
Vincent 316.
Vincent 316.
316.
Yeah. 316 on Instagram. Follow him because we typically post a lot of his shop appearances and for shows like this. And then definitely stand by because this guy is getting out there. He's doing a whole tour and we'll have a lot of photos and stuff to prove it. But Vince, we have a very special guest today. Would you mind doing the honors of introducing who he is?
Yes. So we got another colleague of mine, a good friend of mine over the years. His name is Paul Limgenco. Hopefully I said that right. Paul's like another fellow artist. Amazing stuff. If anyone's not seen his stuff, it's sort of that nice, beautiful paintings. All like painting stuff. And the stuff that he does is renditions of like the superhero stuff. Sort of like an Alex Ross, you could say. Nice. He does all the gouache stuff and all that. So, and he even does like the panel to panel stuff too. That part, I'm just like, whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I went through his Instagram. I was just telling him about his kind of year-end recap, how badass that is. I feel like every artist should do that. But without further ado, let's bring Paul up. What's up, Paul?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hey. Thank you for having me on this, fourth episode?
I think fourth episode.
Fourth? Yeah. I'm very flattered, Vince, that you would rank me your fourth best friend.
But you know what, though? He didn't compare anyone else to Alex Ross. So
yeah.
He didn't compare anyone else to Alex Ross. So that's a tall order and no pressure. Okay.
I mean, it's up there. I say it's close.
But... Yeah, I'm fourth on the speed dial. That's not bad.
It's not too shabby.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. So, Paul, why don't you do a quick intro of yourself, your journey, and maybe like how you met Vince as well, and then we could get right to
it. Okay, my journey. Well, I guess you could say. Well, I went to school for like fine art, and in between my classes, I would go to a comic book store that used to be on Queen Street, called Silver Snail, and in their display window, I saw like prints of the Watchmen characters
Nice.
at the time that movie was coming out. So that was like the hot thing. And I went inside the store and I asked who did it. And then they gave me the contact, and it was a mutual friend of ours named Arnold, who I hadn't met yet at the time. And now he's a really good friend. But when I sent him an email, it was like super formal. Like, dear Mr. Trinidad, blah, 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 sincerely, Paul. Right? And now all we do is just like talk crap about all sorts of stuff. But so it's really informal. But through Arnold is how I met Vince, through like a comic convention. And I don't know what year that was.
Oh,
like,
man.
I don't know. A long time ago.
Definitely before 2010, for sure.
Yeah. But those are like my first conventions. And then that was back when we shared 3 to a table. So we each got 2 feet each.
Really?
Yeah, a 6-foot table, right? 3 of us.
Yeah, you guys kept it tight.
Oh,
yeah.
Our prints were like all up on the table, and we had like just a small window.
Oh my god!
We had like a big, huge art community group, and I remember it got to a point where we were like sharing like 3 to a table, maybe 4.
Yeah. But it was tight, still pretty. Well, it seemed pretty organized from my perspective, but it was very minimal in terms of, here's my portfolio book in my 2 feet, and then above me is my 2 prints displayed, or 2 rows, so maybe like 2 by 3, so 6, and everybody else beside either of us. I don't know. There were probably 10 of us at the time or something.
Yeah.
But it was all like book prints, book prints, book prints.
Yeah, it's so fun. I'm sad I kind of missed that era, because I didn't start publishing until like 5 years ago, and from pandemic on, it's gotten way more digital focused, right? It's like everything's online now. But I felt like there was a whole era, a few decades of con artists, like people getting out there as like gypsies and like hitting cons together. That's such a fun like shared experience.
It was like a gypsy life when you think about it. Like we would travel to all these different cities and just hauling all this stuff, prints and food.
No, what a great shared experience. You know what though? I don't hate the online, because we get to see good friends like Arillas, who tunes in every week with us. So thanks, Arillas. Hey everyone, as always. But yeah, so let's get to it. We'll dive more into your backgrounds and your journey together. But what are you guys drawing today, man? What's on the sketchboard?
I don't know.
I'm down for anything, really.
Okay, what's in the ether right now? Obviously we got Thunderbolts that just happened, right? Lilo and Stitch, is popping off pretty soon. Superman's coming out. Fantastic Four is coming out. What else is in the ether? I mean, what's another good one has been Sinners. That's been awesome. Have you guys seen that yet?
What's it called?
Sinners.
Oh, I heard about it. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's basically like a Western vampire movie. Okay, we got Dude Flamingo asking about Galactus. That's interesting. That's a cool topic.
Galactus.
Alicia is throwing out Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts will be tough, Alicia. I think we have an hour. So if there's one character that stands out,
just one.
I'll draw Thunder, you draw Bolts.
Okay. There we go. That will be a 5-minute show. So, looks like nothing has really hit yet. Anything else come to mind, guys? I mean, how about a moment between you guys? Was there any characters that you guys used to geek out about?
Oh, clock is ticking.
Kit Fisto. I don't even know what Kit Fisto is. What is Kit Fisto?
He is a Jedi.
He's a Jedi, right?
He's green and he has those like tentacles.
Oh, Kit Fisto. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's more of a Jedi. Okay.
He's not Japanese.
I thought it was a Marvel movie.
That's a Japanese thing, yeah.
I mean, I don't mind Galactus. Galactus sounds pretty interesting.
Galactus. Yeah.
In the theme of Fantastic Four, how do you guys feel?
Yeah. But your own take. Go crazy with it.
Your own take. Your own take.
Galactus?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a demon Galactus
Or Silver Surfer. Is there a preference?
with a tiny silver surfer.
All right, Galactus or Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Either or. You guys do your thing, or both. Up to you guys. Whatever you
All
guys
right.
want to do.
Deal.
All right. So
All right.
that's set up your cameras. Let's get to the sketch pad, and we'll continue the show. All right. Let me adjust this. I'll flip to whoever has sketch pad on. All right, Vince. Let's start with you since you got your board up first. When you think
Yeah.
about Galactus and Silver Surfer, what's your earliest memory of Fantastic Four and your relationship with that? OG Jack Kirby.
Oh, I remember as a kid, I got introduced by the cartoon actually from that old cartoon with it was just the robot Herbie with no Human Torch. You remember that one?
Yeah, I mean,
It's a classic.
yeah, isn't
Right,
the robot a very big, kind of a big role in the movie?
Yeah, he was kind of throwing it because of the cartoon. Because I think the cartoon is that they didn't want to put Human Torch because they don't want to have kids put themselves on fire.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Herbie. Wait, so
Herbie, yeah.
Herbie
That
took
happened
place
before?
of the torch. Is that what happened?
Yeah, he places his role. So when you watch the cartoon, there's no Human Torch. It's just a robot.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay,
And as a
so
kid,
they
I'm
did
like,
bring Herbie back.
and I didn't know what the Human Torch was until I saw the comic books. I'm like, who's
Oh,
this
that's
guy?
hilarious.
This guy's awesome.
All
Well, that's
right.
what
So
I got.
okay. How about for you, Paul? What's your earliest relationship? And when you think about Fantastic Four, Galactus, Silver Surfer,
Oh
what
god.
comes to mind?
I don't know. I was never really a big fan of them for some reason. Even
Me
to this
either.
point. Like I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because I don't know. They weren't this. They were too real or something. They weren't violent enough or something.
Right? They're too real. And I thought they were too nice. It's like I grew up not into Fantastic Four. I was just like, man,
Yeah.
like it's such a normal, it's just like a family with power. It's just so weird to me. I didn't I didn't get it.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Like,
Mhm.
and like I grew up with liking X-Men more because of the
Same.
Oh,
comics,
yeah, same here.
Yeah.
And then I had I didn't read comics as much as I grabbed cards, right? Because they were cheaper.
Oh, true.
So I collected a lot more cards. But the cards didn't focus on the Fantastic Four that much. Like maybe there were one or two, but I don't know. It didn't really seem like anyway, the ones that I opened up package wise didn't really have Fantastic Four cards. It was mostly X-Men and no gum. Unfortunately, those are baseball cards.
Damn it.
Gum is only the one of those like Major League Chew or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Did you guys have those in Canada?
Well, only like the big packet of
Yeah.
gum, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the big packet of gum. Yeah, Big League Chew.
Big
And-
Big League
yeah.
Chew. I remember that.
Yeah, those are the best. All right, guys, we got some questions from the audience today already.
Oh,
So let's get right to it. So Alicia is asking, do you guys keep a sketchbook with you wherever you go?
No. I used to, especially when I would
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
when I
used
was
to.
younger and I would take like the subway or whatever. I would draw on there. But then nowadays, I don't like. I don't usually do a lot of digital stuff, but I have like a cheap dollar store stylus that I'll use to draw on my phone if I have to.
yeah.
Just in case I have like a light bulb go off, but then other than that, no, I do not.
Hey, mainly if I like travel, I'll have one for sure. I don't even say sketchbook, probably the iPad.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, this sketchbook I brought with me on a recent trip, and I didn't draw on it once.
What was
I like that sketchbook. You know, I do that too. I buy all these sketchbooks. Well, for me, I can't sketch, so my sketchbooks are my like notepads for like daily agenda items.
Oh,
But
okay.
I buy a lot of them, and I have a whole like kind of bookshelf of them, and I just can't use them all because I just like good looking books. You know, so
So you actually go like you write in them instead
I
of
write in them. I do my like daily like action item list, and then I cross it off. And then when I finish one book, I put it away, and I take a lot of notes and brainstorm on them. And
yeah.
so they become kind of like the history of my work, of
Oh
my
wow.
action.
And then
So
you have like a whole library
a whole library of history of my work.
of to do.
Yeah, to do list basically.
To
It's
do
pretty funny
list.
actually. It's pretty funny. Yeah. How about you, Vince? Did you ever record or kind of take your books with you throughout the day and carry that on the road?
Yeah, I mean, if I travel, yeah. When I was younger, for sure, I always had the sketchbook. But as time goes on, it's just having the time. Like I mean, if I was taking the bus and train, that's been perfect. But I'm in the car if I'm traveling, so
Yeah.
it's like, oh, even I try to draw on the plane, it's hard.
Yeah. And like I want light, but I don't want to put my light on in the plane.
Yeah,
I feel like it bugs everybody because it
That's
bugs me.
true. It is annoying
Right?
when everyone's like, lights are out, and then you blast your light, and everyone's like, "Oh, come on,
Yeah.
trying to
yeah.
sleep."
It's hard
And
to
then I get
control that.
sleepy.
Yeah.
True.
And
That's
plus
true.
the position too, like it just bothers my neck, especially trying to lean over or like bend over
Yeah.
type thing. It's like,
Yeah, it's really impractical. I want to get stuff done, but actually when my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, when I would go visit her when she was working overseas, I was excited to get on the plane, and it was like a long like trip to the other side of the world, and I'm like, okay, I can't work here, like as a as a like a artist or whatever, you're like chained to your desk all the time because it's the whole like lifestyle thing, right? But then when you're on the plane, you can't work. So I'm like, okay, break time. What am I gonna watch now on the plane?
yeah, it's hard on the plane.
Okay, so next question. So I think we'll move to Paul and focus on you a little bit because I want to dive into your website and some of your work. Would love to hear more about your artistic journey. And obviously, you said you went to school as a fine artist. Then you got pulled into comics. Well, when did you feel like you were committed now to becoming an artist full time? When was that moment?
Oh, when was that moment? I don't know. That's a good question. Well, originally my plan was to get into like kind of what Joanne does, but in a more animation level. Because I went to like 3D animation and stuff too, but like it was hard for me to find a job afterwards. So when I don't know, I kind of like when that didn't work out, I just kept on. I went forward and was like, what can I do with my art ability, I guess. And then I decided to go into comics. But like one of the reasons why I paint instead of like draw is because I hate working with the computer sometimes. like
computer.
like if I had whoever's like the Adobe email address for the direct complaints, I would send an email almost daily because it's easier. It makes more sense to me to like get mad at myself for spilling something on my painting, but then if the software doesn't work, that pisses me off even more. That frustrates me. Yeah, like when I was doing computer animation, I don't know what the deal was, but everybody in their big project got to a point where they press Command or Control S, and the computer crashed.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the dominoes kept on falling, and I'm like, okay, I don't like this. I don't trust computers anymore. So
So you remain traditional this whole time. You never gone back and forth or anything. You always
I'll do it if like the gig calls for it. But if I don't know if I can stay with my shtick, my gimmick, then I will.
Damn, dude, these are beautiful paintings, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
What kind of materials do you paint on? Is this just a board or paper?
Paper, watercolor paper. Like what's his name mentioned? What's his name? Sorry, that was insulting. Vince.
That's me.
Oh, the other guy. That guy.
Don't forget it.
As he mentioned, like I was like when we met, like I was a really big Alex Ross fan, but then I have since expanded my fandom. But I was like, you get his mythology book, and it's basically an instruction manual to me. And like, okay, this is the paper that he uses. These are the brushes. This is the paint he uses, and everything like that. It's kind of like, oh, these are the shoes that Michael Jordan wears. Okay, maybe I'll shoot better if I wear Jordans. Right?
Dude, your sequentials are definitely Alex Rossi, bro.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
look
tell
at
you.
it. It's sick.
Like, I don't know. I'm a big fan of like a lot of comic painters too. Like,
Yeah.
when I went to I guess the biggest comic convention in Canada, I went to actually see Alex Ross and meet him, and then afterwards I walked around the comic convention floor, and then I stopped at this one table and I saw this dude painting 3 commissions like at a time. So like he'd paint something, put it to the side and let it dry and paint another thing, let that dry and paint the third thing, right? And he was just juggling and going fast, and I just stood there like a creep for it felt like 3 hours or something, right? And then afterwards I get home, I'm like, okay, I need to remember this guy's name. So then I Googled it, because at the time I didn't have I don't even know if smartphones was a thing. But I get home and I Googled Gabriel Delato.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think he's been back to Canada since I creeped him out, but
Wow.
but yeah, he is awesome.
He's from Italy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is cool. I'm just digging into your Instagram. I'm a big fan of paintings. I collect a lot of Magic the Gathering art, and because of that, I've learned to appreciate paintings. But it's really hard to collect paintings because, like, you don't put paintings in portfolios, right? You put them on the wall, but you only have so much wall space unless you live in like a McMansion, which I don't. And
like I don't know what everybody does with my paintings. I like to think that they're all framed up, but then when I send them out, I put them in between 2 like wooden boards, assuming that they're not going to get framed right away, if at all. Like, because a lot of guys will have walls full of frames and stuff. So even if they put mine up in a frame on the wall, eventually they're going to buy something newer from somebody else, and they're going to have to make space on their wall. So mine's going to come down at some point, right?
It's true. There is a rotation program that does happen with us ADD art collectors.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what other people do. Fortunately, like I'll paint it on paper, so people can put it in their portfolios and stuff, because that's what I used to do anyway. Actually, no, that's what I still do. Like if I'm selling at a convention, I'll have it in a portfolio and people can just flip through.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's his name? Alex Maleev. He does that. He has these giant portfolios that he brings, and when it opens up, it's like 2 of them covers a full like 6 foot long table, I think, because they're huge. They're like these giant 18 by 24 type portfolios, and that's usually how he goes to sell. So
yeah, I don't know how he scans those then.
So how much sequential did you do in your career? Because I'm looking back in your Instagram, good amount of sequentials in your work.
Yeah, like a lot of those are just like sample stuff, right? So but I don't know, I'm trying to do more and more. Like I have a couple of projects where I have to do a lot more sequential stuff, and
Mm.
it takes a while because you're doing all the jobs essentially,
Yeah.
right? Coloring, penciling, coloring, inking, and yeah, it can get pretty tough, and like it could take a lot of time.
Yeah. One of our
Yeah.
books called The Artifact is written by Justin Jordan. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with a painter by the name of Jarrell Threat. He's does a lot of Magic the Gathering stuff, but he really wanted to do this book with us. And so we gave him a kind of a open deadline, and he just decided he wanted to paint every page on an 18 by 24 painting.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
and so
That's
we're
crazy.
now, yeah, we started in 2021 and we're on our 4th year. It's taking him 1 year per issue.
Is that the timeline? Is that the schedule?
Yeah, so we're working 1 year issue, and it's 22 to 26 pages. So he's like the engine that could. He literally has consistently painted a new page every 2 weeks
Oh wow.
for the last 4
Wow.
years, while still doing a lot of like Magic the Gathering stuff. And so it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how that comes together. And I agree with you, but I feel like there's gonna be a next wave of painted comics, because Alex Ross, if you think about it, his height was like in the 90s, and
Yeah.
ultimately
Yeah.
like that built the foundation for the rest of his career to become this comic book fine artist. And I do feel like right now we're in the midst of a 90s revisit, trend wise. And so a lot of like the stuff that we're doing, I think it's going to allow new fans to engage a whole new set of artists like yourselves. And
Yeah.
I feel like we're in the midst of it right now as we speak.
Well, it's kind of like when like all these new Star Wars movies started coming out. It's
Yeah.
because everybody that watched it as a kid is now in charge, right?
Mm.
You have all these fans that can now they're now grown up and they can write the stories now and like make all the Star Wars things. They're like everybody that saw the movies originally in the 70s are now captains of that ship. So like I don't know, all these like Alex Ross, along with all these other like comic artists that painted before him, but he I guess was the pinnacle of it, or the leader of it all. Started. So there's so many more painters, and like every now and then I'll see on Instagram like, who's this guy? This is amazing, and then I find out, of course you're from Italy. Why are you off?
There's a lot of great artists coming out of Italy these days. I'm pretty impressed. Tell us about this Ice Cream Man variant cover.
Oh yeah, so that was for
Gotham City.
Yeah,
Gotham
Gotham Central. Yeah.
Mm.
So gosh, that was a while ago. So that was something that was really challenging to do, because that's all painted with acrylic paint, and I was like, how do I make it like psychedelic and look like that part of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
And right.
Mm.
And but I'm like, how do I make all the Oompa Loompas like kind of horror-ish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're all like messed up and whatever.
You have like the Tales from the Crypt guy. You have like the pumpkin. Jack the Ripper. Yeah, all elements, right? It's so funny.
Yeah. So that was for what, issue 25?
25.
I did do a 26th issue, but they rejected it because it was it was a little too John Wayne Gacy-ish, I guess.
Mm.
Oh
man, is that on your Instagram or no?
No, I don't think I posted it. I wonder if I still have it here somewhere.
Actually, this Magneto is pretty badass too. This one, holy shit, this is dope.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. The guy that I painted it for, like when I do commissions, like he's one of the guys that just lets me go. He's like, yeah, do whatever. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah,
Those
no,
are the best ones.
this is really good. This one like freaking rocks out. I mean,
Yeah, actually, the your guest next week, he does a lot of motion. What's it called? I guess just motion design, right?
Nice.
And he took that. Kevin Briones. He took that.
Oh, I know Kevin. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. And he like animated and stuff and made Wolverine's skeleton or the adamantium like float, and he made it more rock and roll.
Wow, this is awesome too. This is Nightcrawler of the Half Cathedral. What the heck? What's the inspiration for this?
So this is another Gotham Central link. I did at a Toronto Comic Convention. I was doing a version of this of just Deadpool, right? And my table was right next to the washroom.
Okay.
and Vince and Carlos, the owner of Gotham Central, comes out and he sees it and he goes talking like the gangster he sounds like.
Of course.
How much for Carlos? Right? Because he wanted to buy it, right? And so then I was like, okay, I guess this is a popular thing. So I started doing more and more different versions, and eventually I got to a Nightcrawler request.
Wow, great work. I might have to put in a request for something like this.
Yeah,
for Azrael, because I'm really big on Azrael. With my prompt is always Azrael breaking through a stained glass window from a burning church.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So I can always see you rock out with Azrael.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to what you guys are sketching. Let's see, where are we at? How's progress? All right, talk to us about this Galactus, Paul.
Galactus has eaten a lot of planets.
Let me guess.
I noticed he was looking like a little heavier than usual.
Even his antler things are round. So
that's awesome.
You made him really hungry.
Yeah, I know. That's hilarious.
I was like, I started drawing regular Galactus. I'm like, maybe I'll make him a little bit on the chubby side.
That's funny. You got the comedic element to it. I like that.
That's
how about you, Vince?
For you. Can you see it?
Oh, that's awesome, though.
Whoa, what's going on there? Wow.
I did like a demon one.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to use reference, so I'm just using my head.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
We got a demonic Galactus and a hungry Galactus.
Yeah.
Or not so hungry anymore.
Not so hungry.
Not so hungry. My Galactus is like, you ate all the planets, bro.
So, Vince, I'll go to you now.
Yes.
We just spent a lot of time talking to Paul about colors, painting, that world. A lot of your work is black and white. You kind of prefer kind of your inks and your pencils. Now, have you ever explored the world of colors and why or why not? And why do you prefer one over the other?
Oh, I mean, I dabbled in it for sure. And it's definitely like another skill level to understand colors. But I always kind of like black and white. And I think it's just because the way I draw, it's just like, I like the details. As opposed to like doing colors. But anytime I do like a colored piece, I lessen my details just because it kind of gets lost in the colors. Or if I collaborate with certain people that do colors, I have to like draw a certain way. But preferably for myself, I just love just putting the details and really make the line art kind of pop.
Yeah, I noticed even the monochrome look as well. Look at this.
Yeah.
Lady Melania.
Yeah, but the colors, it's a whole world on its own too to understand coloring, especially in comic books. Like you can't just color; you got to tell a story within the coloring too. And that one's like, that's out of my league. Like, it's okay. I'll hire somebody else.
No, but your color, I like the way you do it too, because you definitely have your own tone to it. Like the way you keep it monochrome like this, I like it. Like the red pencils.
Yeah.
Oh
It's kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you draw a killer thing. I haven't seen your thing.
Oh wow.
Which one's
It's
that?
great.
Oh
Those
yeah, the
are
pen.
some great rocks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
see?
Great rock.
But it's all done by like one detail, but I try to make it like give it more depth with using the one color, right?
This was also animated, right? By our guest next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So neat.
Man, you guys have great friends. Animating all your art like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kev.
I don't think he expects us to pay him, but he
I haven't-
hasn't.
He hasn't really brought it up, so I'm not bringing it up.
Yeah, he keeps texting me, but I don't answer.
I'm about to ask him next week about that part.
It's like, yeah, sure, Kev. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's coming on next week. So
Yeah, in fact, I think for one reason or another, Vince, like a lot of your works just look great when it's black, white, and red. Like when you get the blood in there, I don't know, it just looks.
It's
right.
like that. It's heavily detailed, but it's simplistic at the same time. I don't know.
your colors should just like if you ever get your stuff like if you ever get Heroes Be Damned colored, what if it was just flats?
Yeah, I think the flat does it better if it were to be colored, but to have it all like rendered, it just takes it away. I think I saw someone do like a coloring on a Berserk page.
Yeah,
and I'm just looking at it like, oh no, it doesn't work.
What does just flats mean? Like, because I noticed that like one of our colorists, he said it takes him a really long time to do flats, so he usually has to outsource it. And so, does that mean they actually like do the first pass on the colors, and then when they render, that means they're adding all the layer and the 3D looks and feel and stuff?
Yeah, like if you were drawing Knuckles, right?
Mm-hmm.
The flats would be all would be the red, right, without any shade, and then you're just blocking off the colors, right? So Pikachu would just be yellow, brown, and it gets red, and then somebody else or whoever, maybe the same person, would just shade it all in afterwards, right?
Yeah. I think the flat.
So then,
just a bit.
Yeah.
So the coloring, the flatting is still coloring. You're really just putting the flat colors in, and then the colorist is kind of like the artist that gives it a shape, basically. Is that what
I don't know. Well, I'm assuming that the flatting process is still done by the original colorist. It's just the first stage. Well, I mean, to me anyway, it's just the first stage. Right? Yeah. So Heroes Be Damned is going to be penciled or inked?
It is inked. Just digital inked.
Are you? Oh, and you're doing it all digitally, right?
Huh?
You're doing it digitally?
Oh yeah. Just digital inked. Yeah, because like, when it comes to like, and I find personally like doing it digitally, I just find it's just, especially if there's any like changes that need to be made, at least it could be done a lot more easier on digital as opposed to like traditional.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like I remember at one point I had to change something on a whole original page. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
It was helpful actually when Terry and you start working together to have you be able to make
that's a
edits on digital. I mean, I think if you did it all traditional, that would have been a tough one. I mean, honestly, it still happens because sometimes when amongst friends of our art collecting friends, we'll look at each other's like vintage pages back in the Marvel and especially Valiant days. They did a lot of stats. They would literally like completely fill new panels. They'll like cut certain panels out. They'll like paste over characters. I mean, it's a lot of work back in the day, even during traditional time for editing.
Yeah, it's crazy when you see like even the original pages, like you don't see it when it's already colored and everything else printed. Mm-hmm. But when you see the original pages, you can see like I remember seeing like I think it was like a Jack Kirby. It was in Silver Snail actually, an original page. and you can see all the white out and everything, and just changes.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, it's beautiful, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot of work in between too.
I went to a comic art museum in Belgium, right? Yeah,
Nice.
Belgium, and like some of the art was like crazy. Like the way that this guy had painted it, it was very like he painted parts of the panel, not even the entire panel, but parts of the panel were painted on different pieces of paper and then glued on to the panel itself. And then so the entire page was, I don't know, maybe 20 different pieces of paper collaged essentially. But
I heard about this. I'm looking at it right now, the website of the comic art museum in Belgium.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Yeah, it was great. It wasn't in English, but it was great.
I heard I mean in Europe they do treat, comic book art as fine art. So
Yeah,
that's
there's
right.
a lot more appreciation.
Actually,
for it.
I lied. A lot. There was French and English, but then the gift shop was. I was looking at all these amazing books. I'm like, oh, not in English, not in English, not in English.
Oh,
But yeah, they had. It was amazing. Some of the stuff. So I took pictures of some of them, hoping that I could find an English version. I'm like, because I'm looking at all the covers. I'm like, this one's amazing. This one's amazing. And I had to break out Google Translate just to see what the book was actually about.
Man, look at all these art museums, like Comic Art Museum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 comic art museums just within like
14.
Europe area. And America, we definitely do not like, even though superhero comics are the predominant pop culture in the last decade, I think we're still behind when it comes to catching up, appreciating narrative art.
Even when you go to a quote unquote comic convention, it's more of a Funko convention.
Yeah, pretty much these days. We're just kind of sad. I think it's starting to turn around because Funko is kind of losing their cool, and I do feel like
Funko.
there's been
Even then, like for a comic convention, the people that get the top billing are pretty much retired actors.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Retired actor, small movies. Actually, we have a question from Alicia Willis. Ask: has anyone done any murals or really big pieces?
Vince?
All right, Vince, you want to go first?
I remember doing a painting actually about, oh man, how big was it? Like 6x4? No, 5x4, I think. It was like I think so.
That's big. 5x4. Wow.
I think so. I remember being a big canvas because it was an event. Remember that event they used to have, Paul, in Toronto, the Scotia Bank? I forgot what it was called. It was like an all-night art thing. You know, people walk around. There's all these art things going on.
Oh yeah, that.
What was it called? Because they stopped doing it. I think, right?
Nuit Blanche.
Nuit Blanche.
Oh no, they still
like
have it.
Oh, they still do it? Yeah, it was like an event for like 2 nights or something, but it's like 24/7, and it's just all this artistic things that happen through the city. And I remember I was part of the guerrilla printing. I did like a live painting in front of the store. Yeah. I had no clue what I was doing. I told Alvaro, just give me some paints.
And I remember a really big pencil.
Yeah, but it turned out all right, but that'd probably be the biggest piece I ever drew.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What year was this?
Oh man. Probably 2014, 2013.
Oh, go way back then. Okay.
Yeah, way back. Maybe 2012.
I'm asking because I'm scrolling through your Instagram to see if I could get there.
Oh, no, it was way before that.
Before the Instagram days. No.
But I know, I think there's a picture there somewhere, but I remember like it was a drawing of Grandizer. It's just more of a headshot. But I just remember I remember the paints weren't right and people were just watching. They're just like, ooh. And I'm just like, what am I doing?
Too much pressure.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing.
Does that type you belong?
the brushes were off, and I was just making my own brushes out of like cardboard. I'm like, 'cause
What? You're
because you know
micromanaging
it's
it?
like it's a big canvas, right? So I'm trying to cover areas. I only had like small brushes. I'm like, this is taking too long. So I think I took like cardboard and just kind of spread it out more. And I was like, oh man, it was a fun experience for sure. But yeah, that was the only one I ever
But
did.
you've only done it once.
I'm done with the big pieces.
One and done. One and done.
Paul,
Yeah.
what about you?
The-
Anything?
the biggest painting I've ever done was in high school, of all places. And
Wow.
yeah,
High
when you got to like grade 12, right? Because I was the first year to not have 13. So you would get to pick a wall in the high school and basically paint a mural. And,
Wow.
yeah, and like you would pitch your idea, and if your idea was chosen, you like I guess pick your team or whatever. And so then my idea was in a staircase instead of a wall, because I had to be different for no reason. And yeah, exactly. So then it went up. I don't know. I haven't been there in so long, so I'm gonna guess it was basically started off with a 5-foot wall, then it went up like 12 steps, and then another 5 foot, and then maybe 12 feet, and then 5 feet, and then 12 other steps, and 5 more feet. So it was like that. But I had a group of people to help me out with it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so that only went up to the second floor, and then it didn't actually get finished. But then I don't know, a year later or something, after we graduated, a friend and we went back to my high school just to, I don't know, be nostalgic or something. And I looked at the unfinished mural that we had been working on, and I saw that it went up to the third floor because other students continued it, and they totally they butchered it.
Oh,
I was
like Jesus painting.
The idea was like a whole evolution of or growing up of students, right? So like at the bottom were like people in like our school uniform, and then eventually the people going up the stairs are graduates, and then at the top or the second floor, at the top of the mural, they're in like their occupational uniforms. But then for some reason, all the way from the second floor to the third floor, where it was continued by the other students, it was like people doing handstands and flips and stuff. I'm like,
what the heck?
Exactly.
Wow. So they really kind of took it off the deep end, basically.
Yeah. Well, I got my mark and I graduated, so I guess it shouldn't really matter.
That's all that matters.
So it's interesting, Paul. I do have a question as I'm looking at you, sketch the Galactus. Looking at a lot of your works, it feels very serious. But then when you were sketching here, it's almost does this reflect your personality? Is it like you tend to find yourself on the comedic side to put works out there?
Sarcastic side.
I honestly, I only have a handful of drawings like these. But
cool.
Yeah, everything else is pretty much serious. I don't know. I take art very seriously.
You're a fine artist.
Yeah, I'm a fine art. I went to fine art school. But yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like it doesn't really come out when I do this kind of, or it doesn't, this side of my personality, I guess, doesn't really come out that often when I'm drawing. But yeah, for example, so speaking of Heroes Be Damned, I was like, okay, so for this stream today, I'm gonna pick, I know it's probably already done and no pressure, but I have a variant cover idea for you, Vince.
Oh,
and you can reject it, no pressure. But here's my pitch. It's just a sketch.
What?
But
What's
here's
going on?
my idea.
That's awesome.
and and then you could subtitle it Sunshine Man.
Oh my gosh, you guys all saw it here first. Super sketchy. The audience, you guys saw the first look at Paul's pitch for Vince. I mean, as the publisher, I almost like that we're obligated to have
Just
to publish
throw
that.
my cover away. We're using that one.
Oh man,
I'll color it too.
So what is that?
And
Vince,
you can have Kevin make it move too. We'll ask Kevin to do it.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Don't make
Vince,
him twerk.
you're gonna have to enlighten us on what's Mr. Sunshine.
Mr. Sunshine.
Well, actually, there's a newspaper here. I don't even know if they still do this. It's called the Toronto Sun. And it's called the Toronto Sun. And there's like
the Sunshine Girl, and then
Sunshine Girl. And isn't there a Sunshine Boy?
Sunshine Guys.
And when you're just like, what? Go ahead, Vince.
No, yeah. You buy a newspaper, then you open the first page, and there's a girl in a bikini or a dude, and then Speedos or whatever. That was like a thing back then. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming they don't do that anymore.
I don't think so. No.
I'm gonna have to
Who
buy
buys?
a newspaper
Anyone buy a newspaper? I don't know.
Yeah, I know, eh?
Yes. Sunshine cover done.
Yeah.
Paul, that was great. I love that.
That is awesome. That's an awesome variant cover. I did not expect that today. So you got to exclusive first look. But I was actually gonna comment, Paul, on your Galactus. Even though it's a comedic take, his pose looks like fine art. It like almost looks like something that like what's the name? Van Gogh would pose. like saw like a Van Gogh Galactus. This would be like the pose.
It looks like an Italian drawing, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. That's why I know this. I'm like
inner Italian, man. What's going on?
It's worthy of the Louvre.
Yeah, there is like a feel to it all. Even though like he's eaten a lot, but there's a sense of peace that I think a fine artist like yourself definitely delivers.
There's a sense of contentment.
Yeah.
The content Galactus.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
The bottomless shrimp Galactus.
Big on the buffets. Okay.
So we have a audience question, folks. You guys ready? Let's see. Yeah. Vince, why don't you take this one first? There are many artists. Do the guests have any tips on how to get noticed? Thanks.
And how to get noticed?
Yeah, how do you get noticed, guys? Like both of you guys. I mean, Vince,
there's many ways.
You're 98,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah. So, any tips on how to get noticed?
Oh man, I don't know. All I knew, I was just doing my thing. That was pretty much it. And people just seemed to gravitate at the time, and they just liked what I was doing.
Like I wasn't doing. Vince doesn't even try.
That's it.
He's
just
so
don't
good.
Try. Just don't try.
I'll recap. Yeah, I'll give an insight into Vince and how I discovered him. He literally is just doing his thing, but he does a lot of it. So this guy was so consistent with his uploads. There's this pure volume, and then he does a lot of details. And basically, because I collect comic art, there's a whole thread of like commission artists that comes up where people, I got this commission, and I would see Vince's work get shared over and over again. And so finally, I was like, dude, what the heck? Like, who's this guy? And so when I went to go look for him, I saw that he had his own creation, and so that's kind of why I hit him up. But do your thing. But if you're gonna do it, like do it because you're in love of it, and do a lot of it. I think that's
pretty much
a good tip.
Not like how Mike does it. Mike goes hard, man. Mike goes forever.
Like Ruth?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like I can go like, a lot of hours. But I know how Mike does. I'm like, man, he does it like with no sleep. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, Mike from last week. Oh my God, Mike.
Yeah.
He sounded like a beast, man. That guy
Yeah.
is out there. He's a machine for sure.
But then
I think it helps too because his partner is also an artist, so they go together.
Yeah,
So I'm a big believer that human energy is kind of charges each other, and so we're like a bunch of batteries, and so if you have two people running the same direction, you're both gonna run a little faster. And like when I go to New York, for example, I don't know what it is. I don't sleep much either. I just feel so charged of all the energy and all the noise, and I just feel empowered, right? So I do feel like because him and his wife are both kind of running from con to con and whatnot, there's some element
he
of
works hard. They both work hard.
yeah.
But it comes down to like really like if you're passionate what you're doing, people will notice. That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
No half-ass. Because people can tell. People can tell though.
I completely agree.
Yeah. And stick to what you do. Don't start taking pictures of your feet or anything like that.
No matter how much OnlyFans pay.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I've tried it. I've tried it.
People experience.
Yeah, I've gotten Vince to take pictures of my feet.
I tried.
It doesn't work. No.
Oh my gosh! You have to try the new thing now. It's live sketches of feet. That's gonna be our next topic for next week. Feet
spent. Feet spent.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is those sell, but nobody wants to share those. So.
I mean, there's a commissioner that I know. I don't know if you guys ever come across this guy, but I've heard about a guy who literally goes around and he just gets hands, and so he'll get like a hand of Wolverine's hand, Spider-Man's hand, and apparently, and it turns out like the artist who was talking about him was like, man, this guy's so weird. He keeps coming back to me and asking for different character hands. And so one day when he saw him at a convention, he asked him like, dude, like, why do you have all these hands? And he's like, oh, it's because I'm a hand doctor and I have these all over my office.
Oh, okay.
It makes sense,
Makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, cool feet.
Yeah, we can't prove that he's a hand doctor though.
That's true.
True though.
Good,
I mean, that's a good one to use though when you think about it.
A fetish is a fetish. I'll just be like, I'm a foot doctor. That's fine.
Foot doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Paul? Any advice?
Any real advice?
Getting noticed. Yeah. I mean, you have a functioning business. I'm looking at your website. You got a good product line. You have your commissions. I mean, you're active, man.
Honestly, for me, like the things that work the best is not online. It's actually talking to people in person. Right? Like I feel like a lot of things that have happened to me is because I've talked to somebody in person, and it's not even like in a network capacity. Sometimes it's kind of just like saying hi or whatever, and eventually, like, I don't know, the powers that be are like, oh yeah, I talked to Paul, he would be interested in doing this sort of thing. So yeah, like, so like as much I can like litter my posts with hashtags, actually talking to people gives me more opportunities and stuff, because like have you noticed like how me and Vince have a lot of people in common that we know?
Yep.
It's because like we've all met each other, and I don't know, everybody will give each other opportunities and stuff like that. But there's so many people in this like circle that you can kind of be forgotten or whatever, or gradually some people get opportunities that you could have gotten too. But it's like, okay, so great, this person is doing this thing over here. That's cool. But I'm like, oh yeah, but I have forgotten to hustle or whatever. So I need to not necessarily catch up, but I need to, proceed in my career by talking to more people and networking, or just stop being a wallflower and being a little more social.
Yeah. Wallflower. Don't know it.
Yeah.
No.
We're the people business. I mean, it's true. I do feel like why conventions do so well for artists is because you get a concentrated set of folks that are going there looking for art, right? They're looking for things to buy for people to
Yeah.
support, and often a lot of art collectors, are really there to support the artist, and they get inspired by the artist and what you guys do, and often that's how a lot of commissioners actually decide on where they put their money is because they want to
Yeah.
back certain artists,
Yeah, and like it's kind of how I survived during COVID. Like
Mhm.
I met up with this guy that Vince and I have known for a while, who
Mm.
had his own podcast, but I never really talked to him until, I don't know, before the pandemic. And then because I talked to him, he invited me onto his own streaming show,
Nice.
and then that introduced me to a bunch of other art collectors. So so from there, like from just talking to that one guy who has a podcast, like launched me into this whole group, or introduced me into this whole group of art collectors.
Yeah, the art collectors are crazy though.
Yeah,
So,
it's a fascinating world that I didn't really knew existed.
yeah, yeah, it's true. It's definitely like best of both worlds. They could be it's a very passionate group, and
Yeah,
so as long as you're patient, you know how to handle them, it'll pay off. It's a very
yeah,
like small community, but it actually can sustain a lot of artists' careers. But if you tap
yeah, yeah,
into
yeah. But
that
it's
work.
also like it's kind of funny, like how everybody is their own business, but it kind of feels like we're all in one kind of business. So if one person doesn't do a good job of being an artist and handling their business well, it feels like it has a little bit of a ripple effect in terms of trust for other artists. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, I don't get commissions anymore because I had this bad experience with so and so, right? I wonder if that's that's the impression I get anyway, that if one person kind of screws up or or owes a painting or owes money, then I feel like we're
That's
all
true. There,
yeah,
there are
Yeah.
there are stories of commissioners who was actively commissioning people, and then one bad experience like ruins it for everybody. And so
yeah,
you're right. I think there are times where really it just takes one bad apple.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'll do a follow-up question to that. When you say you go in person, like what does that mean? Is it conventions? Is it
Yeah,
shows? Is it
conventions.
like
Yeah.
meetups? Is it like, yeah? So what are
Oh,
the
and
in-person things that work for you?
almost anything.
Okay.
Like I mean, there's a ton of things that I'll be like, I don't feel like going to this, but I know I should.
Nah.
Right? So who
So,
knows?
so,
Who knows
so
what I'm
you,
doing now?
yeah, you were saying you do like 10 a year. So would you say like every time you go, you end up picking up enough work to sustain for the next month or two or something like that? Is that
No, it's like, because what I've noticed with comic conventions is I
Hmm.
feel like the ones in the US are a lot more what's the word, profitable, just from, because I've never done a convention in the US, but I've watched a lot of videos and stuff of people
Yeah.
doing conventions in the US. I'm like, what? How much are they making, and what are they doing? That's
Yeah.
amazing. So with conventions in Canada, sometimes it feels like it's hit or miss. So a lot of the times I'll go to a convention and I'm like, okay, I spent this much, and this much for this table here, or this weekend. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed, right? And hopefully it's not a bust. So I don't do as many conventions, but what I when I do those, I'll try, not necessarily saying that I actually do this, but I'll try to make it a point to, I don't know, basically say hi to a bunch of people, and introduce myself to people that I have yet to meet, and hopefully that will actually lead to something in the future.
Yeah, you're right. This is a people business, and as much as it's a smaller community, it kind of always started that way, and it will always be that way. I think as digital as we can get, because art has never left humankind, right? Like from the very beginning of time, like there's always been cave paintings, right? There's always been the Michelangelos of the world. There's always been, every century, ever since culture was developed, artists are, the go-to when you try to understand a culture. You go see what the artists are drawing and painting, and so I don't think that's ever going away. So I do agree that that's gonna be a big element. That's always gonna be a big element of getting work for artists. I'm guessing you guys know Mark Scribbles artist.
All blue eyes.
Oh yeah.
He called you guys lazy asses and men to save your lives. Teasing. How are you guys?
Doing
My
good,
ass
Mark.
is none of his business.
Hello,
Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Yeah. Mark, what? Mark, we've known for what? How many years?
Oh,
I guess as long as Kevin.
It's a while.
Yeah.
Too long. Actually, I'll be seeing him this weekend, actually.
Mark?
Yeah. He's the one that hooked up with the comic store, the bookstore for Oshawa next Saturday.
Oh.
So thank you, Mark.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You better buy my lunch too.
Yeah. Thanks, Thanks,
no
Mark.
pressure.
No, there is pressure. I gotta get.
All right, I guess you have to buy Vince's lunch. Let's see what Vince Galactus is looking like. Oh man,
I gotta
your
drive
Galactus,
back, man.
Dude, your Galactus is straight up like an anime cartoon, almost manga, almost like a right, like Marvel Rivals version of a skin.
Nice.
Galactus goes dark. So with that said, folks,
awesome.
we're gonna start winding down the show. A few more minutes, but we are at 178 followers. We only need 2 more to get to 180. So I put the link in the chat. So if you don't mind, and if you haven't followed the campaign yet, all you gotta do is click through that link and click notify me on launch, and we'll be happy campers getting 2 more followers to 180.
When is the launch? Do you have a date?
We do, May 28th, so just 2 weeks from now. So we're
awesome.
pretty excited, man. It's gonna be a blast.
That's cool.
So, Paul, as we're kind of landing, you want to talk a little bit more about your Galactus and how you feel about it? I mean, it's funny. It's bringing me a lot of feelings. It almost feels like an Italian statue. That was
right. He's very Romanesque.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's comparable to the David, I think.
Yeah.
It is actually.
He's actually naked on the bottom half.
Yeah. He's kind of David-ish with a little bit of a Mona Lisa thing going on.
It's fully nude, the bottom half. We just can't see it.
Yeah. If I had longer paper, I'd do what I can't remember what they used to do with the leaf down there. Maybe
or like a big G.
But it don't matter anymore because he's eaten so many planets he can't even see himself down there anymore. So it don't matter. We just see what he can see.
Such a beautiful piece.
I put a little bit of hair here, but it's there.
You should put Thug Life. Thug Life.
This is okay. This is okay, but I think my other drawing is better.
Oh my god! What the heck? What's going on? How's that going? You got some AI thing on the side?
Yeah,
that's another variant cover.
Yeah, this is Very Renaissance, I think.
Oh my gosh, this guy
And then-
multitasker over here.
You're
That's
not
awesome.
a sunshine man though, but you are the weapon of choice. Hey-o.
Oh wow, dang,
Oh,
man, that's kind of cool actually. I was trying to play with that whole choice thing for a long time, but I couldn't figure it out. But I never thought of weapon of choice. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to adapt that for something. Wow, wow, this is gonna be
Very
a
nice.
highlight for sure. Yeah, thanks for that, Paul. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
what else you got? You got more?
Oh, yeah, what else? Yeah. You got a whole like full statue that he just chiseled on the side.
I only have drawings of feet.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
We'll save that for the next one.
I couldn't find
Wow.
any pictures of your feet, Carl.
Oh my goodness. You don't want to see my feet. My wife says I have the ugliest, biggest feet. So not pretty, not pretty.
I will have to draw them to make them more beautiful.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I got nice hands, so I'm pretty proud of that. And
You can give it to your, you can give my drawing to your wife for her birthday.
Yeah, I might do that. That's awesome. I have to grab that from you. I got to
open a floodgate, Paul. You're gonna open a floodgate.
commission you for that, Azrael, so I could have a reason for you to ship it to me. So that's gonna be framed in like a Renaissance painting style frame, and I'll gift it to my wife and be like, "Merry Christmas, baby."
Yeah. Remember, you love me.
All right, Vince, your turn. Let's look at your glasses.
Let's see mine.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah. You see it? It is I don't know, like a demon.
Crazy.
Demon like
awesome.
Damn.
like
That's a
Galactus
beast.
and
Beast
a
of
little
the
tiny silver surfer, if you can see it. Oh,
Bring it up to the camera. Bring it up to the camera.
yeah, it's like he's
Okay, there we go.
Oh,
Oh, that's hilarious.
oh, that's a planet. I was wondering what why you
Yo,
cut it off
that's
there.
pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I guess it's like the lighting and try to get
That's
these
pretty
right.
cool. That's pretty cool.
But that's my
That's
Galactus.
awesome, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, fellow, that was awesome, man. What a great session.
I had that idea too, but I didn't want to do it.
It's okay, Paul. I'll draw you some feet.
Well,
Thank
well,
you.
your idea is that his stomach has become the planet, so in itself,
yeah.
yeah.
I should put like an asteroid belt or oh, that's what I should have done.
A G is a
belt
buckle.
and
A
asteroid
buckle
belts.
with
Yeah.
the letter
All
G
good.
on it.
Better late than never. So, Paul, where can people find you?
I'm mainly on Instagram, so
let
you
me
can
pull it up
find
real
me
quick.
at Paul_Limgenco. It's right there.
Let me throw it all the way up to the top.
All the way at the
There you
top.
go.
Yeah, there I am.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah. And then I don't really post anywhere else besides where Instagram automatically posts to.
Nice.
Right? I'll post one place and then Instagram does the rest. So what? Threads, Facebook.
I do the same thing. I'm lazy. Yeah.
I have Blue Sky, but I don't use it. I want to.
Blue Sky.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I heard of that one.
You know, it's funny. Everyone says they have it, but no one uses it. Like it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But man, I love this recap, folks. One thing I was telling Paul before we came on was I haven't seen an artist that used this kind of idea of creating actual collage with the year.
Because no one is as vain as I am.
This was actually, he told me to hang over his bed, actually.
Only
Of all the other issues.
I print that as pillowcases and I give those to my family.
Remember, this is the year. That's awesome. So there you go, guys. Please follow Paul and then basically hit up his. So for those friends who are want to get on your commission list, how do they do that? Because I have a lot of art collector friends that watch this.
Best place to do it, I guess, would be to just message me on Instagram.
Okay.
You can email me too. And that email you can find on my Instagram.
Everything's on Instagram. So ignore all these websites and
yeah,
X and stuff. Just go to
then
Instagram.
I am out of a job.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you put those too. The Limgenco.
Yeah,
Limgenco.
Is it
Yeah.
an extended Lim? Because my wife's
Yeah.
last name is Lim.
Oh, then we're probably related.
Related.
So
Yeah.
apparently my great grandfather was Chinese.
Hey,
And
same
so
here.
Hey, maybe
Hey.
we're related too.
Maybe we're related too, man.
And my great grandfather had a Filipino wife, and so he gave her his full Chinese name as the last name, but then there's a little bit of Spanish influence in it.
Yeah.
But then his Chinese wife was just Lim.
Oh,
Right.
that makes sense.
So-
Okay.
That's what our last name was like. I think my great grandfather was like Soon or something, and they had to change it to Sunico. That's what I was told.
Yeah,
makes
yeah. So yeah, our Filipinos are all over the place in terms of history.
Everywhere.
Cool. Like a mixed bag. But man, Paul, thank you so much, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Paul, stay on. We're gonna upload the video. So with that said, Vince, we're closing out another episode of Super Sketchy Live. We'll see you guys all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.